Here now are some of the questions from the jury questionnaire. Okay, here it is. He says in this questionnaire, this trial will be followed closely by the news media. Do you think this will affect you if chosen as a juror? It's one question. Another, have you ever been prescribed medication by a friend who is a physician? Interesting. Another, have you accessed or posted any blog concerning Michael Jackson or Conrad Murray? Judge Mathis, what is the strategy here for both sides? What are they trying to accomplish?
Well, I think that on the defense side, they'd like to see the trial move to another jurisdiction where perhaps Michael isn't as popular, because there's nowhere they can go where he's not known of. He was arguably the most famous man in the world prior to his death. And I think that the judge, of course, is trying to assure a level of fairness by making sure he gets an impartial jury. But impartial juries are hard to come by with people as famous as Michael. But the good news is that you'll have critics who previously didn't care for Michael, and then you'll have fanatics who loved him to death. So it kind of offsets each other.
Judge Mathis, is that questionnaire likely to trigger some data that would cause a change of venue?
No, not at all. They'd have to prove that that the media would be so prejudicial, or that the jurors would be so prejudiced by media coverage that they could not give a fair decision. Not the questionnaire as much. The questionnaire is pretty perfunctory, and the things that are answered there are pretty much expected. I mean, if you've been victimized by crime, then of course if the crime was the same type you were victimized by, you would be removed from the jury. So there are very perfunctory things that will have you removed by the jury based on the questionnaire. But it's the prejudice of the jury, which occurs from the media, that's concerned.
I get it. So the questionnaire is more this usual questioning they would do in any criminal trial rather than specific for Michael Jackson. Now, here is defense attorney Edward Chernoff talking about why he wanted the jurors to be sequestered.
We can trust jurors to be good human beings, but we cannot necessarily assume they're not going to be looking at television and looking at the internet and all the other things.
Gene, do you think the defense is going to be able to find jurors who aren't biased by all this?
They're going to work real hard. You know, I interviewed Ed Chernoff last night on the eve before trial, and I asked him, are you concerned about the stealth juror, the one that wants to become famous and write the book and make a lot of money? He said, we're very, very concerned about that. They have a jury consultant. You know, it's interesting. The judge said today to all the jurors that they would have to wait 90 days after the trial to accept any type of payment or benefit in regard to this trial and serving on this jury. An interesting thing jurors told right from the get-go.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't think this thing's going to go away in 90 days, so I don't know, that probably doesn't make any difference to somebody who's trying to make money off